Hey gamers, it's G from the corner, and there has been a new Pokemon Presents announced for next week. It's the Tuesday. And obviously I got some predictions, but I am not alone today. I am joined by a very special guest, Mr. The Glass Half Full himself.
Hello, everyone. This is the first time I'm kind of doing this kind of thing. Well, at least for me. So I'm excited to talk about my thoughts about the new Pokemon Presents.
Yep, there's not that much information, but we do know is kind of interesting. I kind of wanted to record this like a bit in advance, because there had been already rumblings that it was going to happen because there was some data mines in Pokemon Masters. But now, honestly, I'm kind of glad I waited until the announcement because there's some information that that has me thinking there could be more here than I think. I don't know.
Well,
Because,
it's
like,
weird because it says 35 minutes long, which is pretty long for a
that's
Pokemon
yeah,
Presents,
for
right?
Pokemon Presents. The longest I think there might okay. I'm trying to remember. Was the longest one 20 minutes or 28 minutes? I should have
Oh,
looked this up. I
I was
really should have.
actually right before we started recording, I was checking the past Pokemon Presents just to get a feel like what they could announce, and like I'm seeing 25 minutes, 20 minutes, like 18 minutes, and it's just
Okay,
like it's
so
weird. It's
this is
long.
still the longest one, but by like okay, it's the longest one by I guess a decent amount by what, like 10 minutes or so at least.
Which like you can announce a lot of things in 10 minutes, so I'd say so. Like
Now here's the thing, the interesting thing going into this one, I kind of expected like not much at all, right? Because okay, they've already got the DLC to talk about, and they even announced Detective Pikachu Returns for the holidays, so I don't
yeah,
think now is the time to announce another spin-off or something, but I feel like I don't know, having that glitchy little tease, having the length be 35 minutes. My next thought would be, okay, hold on a second. This could just be some mobile game thing. I was hearing something about Masters items being related to what was
well,
there.
I made a list of just things I expect or like what like kind of predict for the Pokemon Presents, and like none of it seems like 35 minutes length worthy. So like they probably might announce something new that we just don't expect, and maybe go
Mhm.
in depth about it.
Yeah, there's one thing I think it could possibly be, although I'm not 100% sure, but I think we'll save that one for the end because that's a big one. But okay, let's just get started with what we expect to see. Obviously, Scarlet and Violet DLC. Yeah,
Yeah, for sure. Like
yeah.
that's like we've already seen like a bunch of Wave One or the first half of the DLC, so I'm assuming that now we're gonna see the second half. I like
It's kind of weird because I feel like they've been showing off both waves at once every time. Like even at the June Direct, they showed footage of both waves.
yeah, I forgot I
So
was there. Fuck, yeah, you're right.
yeah, no, that's the last time we saw it. I don't know. I'm part of me. My thought is 100% we get a release date for the first wave,
Oh,
right? Like
100%. Like September,
100%.
October. Yeah,
They'll be yeah, like early mid September. They'll be like, hey, it's Fred. That's on the first wave, and then maybe we get more info on the second wave. But I feel like primarily they're going to want to push that first wave since I think that's going to be out sooner.
hmm
Well, yeah, it is going to be out sooner, but like that's what I think the big thing is going to be. But now I don't know. I don't know
Well,
because then
first thing
sorry,
I want to mention like right off the bat, like when this was first announced or when this was first rumored when you told me about it, I was like, I'm not really excited for it. Like as a massive Pokemon fan, I was just like, oh, cool, we're doing this because there's like nothing really big to announce this year. Like
yeah,
it,
no. If we didn't get Detective Pikachu at the direct, I would have been like, oh, damn, I guess we're gonna get a spin-off today. That's gonna be cool. But we did, and that was probably the least interesting spin-off they could have announced, if I'm being honest.
no, it's true, it's true. Yeah, I can never
So
replay the first one, so
I mean,
I don't
sure,
know.
well, it's like the mentality basically is we're trying to think what's gonna fill up the remaining time because it's like, okay, this is a long presents, right? Sleep is
Yeah.
already out, so I doubt they're gonna talk much about sleep. Um, they're gonna they have to talk about the Switch games, obviously, Scarlet Violet DLC and Detective Pikachu, and then I guess the mobile games,
Well,
right?
those are the standard. Like again, I was checking the past Pokemon Presents, and we saw Pokemon Masters X, Pokemon Sleep, Pokemon Go, and the TCG. Like those are like standard things we're gonna get for sure. And
Yeah,
but those like again, those like take like 8 minutes of our time, maybe less, maybe more. And
yeah,
then
it
the rest
depends.
and the rest of the presentation are like the trailer for the new game, and then they explain like they go in depth a bit more. So
Yeah,
I've got some things I wrote down that maybe they could show that could fill up the time slot. And I'll just list the first one off. The last Pokemon Presents, we saw a glimpse of the Netflix show, I think, like the
Oh
weird, like
yeah, that's right.
the clay
I
one. I'm
forget what it
pretty
was.
sure.
The resort one. Yeah, they had a
Yeah.
little. I think they had another trailer, like a small behind the scenes thing for that. Yeah, that one could definitely show up here.
Uh-huh. Like they just do like an actual like a full blown trailer and just show off what they're like what's the thing gonna be about.
Yeah, because
But
they haven't
all
really
yeah.
done a full trailer yet. Yeah.
But also I don't know if you heard about this, but I think a couple months ago they said they're gonna do a Pokemon live action show. Did you hear
Oh,
about
what?
that?
Oh, yeah, I feel like okay. I think I heard about that. I might. That might be. You know what? That might be it.
Yeah.
Oh my
Like
god. Oh, I just had a crazy thought. I just had an insane, crazy thought that's like kind of related to that. But I'm like thinking now that maybe the tease we got, like the whole staticky M highlighted like neon tease, that could be related to the show, if anything.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's a good chance of happening. It's interesting because we haven't seen any teaser of it, so and I don't know how much they would able to, like they finished of the show or like were able to show off, but
Maybe the cast. Like maybe the cast.
ooh.
Maybe they got a big cast or something. Maybe they'll
I
be
mean
like The Rock is gonna be starring.
The Rock
Oh my
The
god.
Rock is Pikachu.
Yeah, we'll call it ahead of time. You heard it here first, folks. Live action Pokemon show cast reveal. Although one thing that would get me really excited, I think this is probably the most. This is like okay. There's two things they could do here that are really big that could get
hmm
me excited. One of them is probably guaranteed to happen, but isn't going to be here, and the other one is kind of related to what you said. If they are indeed still doing Detective Pikachu 2, actually confirming it here would get me so excited because I love that movie.
Yeah.
And I would literally, I think I said this, I don't know if I said this to you or somebody else, but genuinely, if they just told me, hey, Detective Pikachu Returns is canceled, no fourth Nintendo holiday game this year, but we're going to get a movie next year, I'd be stoked. I would
Well,
genuinely be so stoked.
I think well they're too far along with Detective Pikachu 2. They're gonna release it for sure. A little bit late,
Yeah.
but whatever, right?
Yeah,
But
I hope. Mhm.
I don't know because well the biggest thing as well I don't really want like biggest like everyone like every casual Pokemon thing, oh my god, Gen 10, oh my god, new big Pokemon game, and I just don't want that. Like
Yeah, I don't expect Gen 10 is a next system thing. That's like a
obviously,
whole
yeah.
other discussion at this point. But Gen 10 is 2025 next system. You'll see it then.
Yeah, I like it was stupid to bring it up, but I'm like, I just in case if anyone thought like, oh, we might get it, like we are not, and I don't want it as this soon, obviously, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Anything else on the list that you mentioned?
Okay, so like the kind of out there picks was like a new Pokemon Mystery Dungeon, maybe because
Mm.
they released the remake DX I think in 2021,
No, it was
and yeah,
2020.
oh 20 wow 3 years
Yeah, it's been
ago,
like 3 years. Yeah. No, it's been a
but
while.
I
About
assume
time.
that was a pretty beloved spin-off, and like I'm assuming it sold pretty well as well. So I
I think it's
think
right. I remember hearing like a decently high number. I think it was what at least 3 million. I heard.
well for a spin-off, I think that's pretty good for Pokemon. So
Yeah,
I assume they might make another one, which would get me pretty stoked because that was one of my favorite spin-off series.
yeah. Because like, despite the fact that Detective Pikachu did get announced, they could easily just announce like an early 2024 Pokemon Mystery Dungeon. You know, like that's
Yeah,
not really
yeah.
out of the question. Granted, I remember the remakes actually had a really short reveal to release cycle. Like, I swear they announced it at like a January 2020 Pokemon Presents, and they came out like less than 2 months later.
I think you're right. I won't fact check that, but I think like it was January, just casual February direct. I'm like, all right, it's coming out next month. You guys.
Yeah, something along those lines. It was like it was really close. So who knows? Maybe they'll hold. Granted, those were remake. I don't know. It was a weird because
Yeah.
I swear that came out the same month as Animal Crossing 2. So maybe they're just like, we'll throw it in the same month as the Peach game or whatever.
Or if they want to be really lazy, they could just remake the second Pokemon Mystery Dungeon. I think Explorers of Sky.
Oh yeah, no, because
which-
I've heard people be like, oh my gosh, they need to do Explorers of Sky DX or whatever, and like,
that game has like a bit of like a Paper Mario Thousand Year Door like cult like where it's the second game in the series, right? But like it's so beloved out all of the Pokemon Mystery Dungeon games. Like if it does get a remake in the same vein of DX, that people are like, all right, we're like, I'm happy with that, and I'd be okay with that too. But
I've tried like the demos. Well, I literally, actually, that's the funny thing. I think I've tried all of the Mystery Dungeon demos, but I've never actually given the games a shot because I'm like, oh, let's try the demo, and I'm like, oh, I'm not into this. But I get why other people are. I have some friends who are like super big into it. And I understand the love for the series. I respect it. It's not my thing, but I respect it, and I definitely think we get another one. If not, you know what? I could easily see if my last big thing doesn't come true. I can definitely see that being an easy, like, one of the last Switch games in 2024 or
Oh
something.
yeah, for sure.
100%.
And on the topic of spin-offs, I was like, if Pokemon also want to do a crazy curveball, I was like, yo, let's just do a new Pokemon Ranger. Have you played one of those games
Ranger.
before?
Bring back Pokemon Pinball while we're at it.
I decently enjoyed those games growing up, and like it could work on the Switch, even though it's mostly stylus based. Like, it's still like, well, I guess you put it on TV, then it's kind
Do
of
gyro.
yeah.
I'll draw circles. I'll do it. Everybody hates doing that, but I don't care. I'll do it.
But like those are like again like those are kind of out there picks because like we don't have nothing else big to reveal, so so like like we can bring on the spin-offs in those vein and maybe a new Pokemon spin-off like entirely great.
For mobile. That's per usual. I mean, no, an actual console Pokemon spin-off would be nice, but I feel like it's weird. They seem really comfortable just doing the ones that they've already done that people like, and then not really like, okay, the new spin-offs are all free-to-play mobile games, and if we're gonna do one on console, here's Snap. You guys wanted Snap, here you go. You guys wanted Mystery Dungeon, here you go. That kind of crud.
Well, speaking of Snap, actually, I wanted to bring up remember the whole like I don't know if it was a rumor or like people were theorizing more that like the Pokemon the original Pokemon game is going to come to the Nintendo Switch Online.
Oh, you know what? I was just about to forget about that. Switch Online's been really crap lately. Like, they've been barely adding anything to the service. We haven't gotten a 64 game since Pokemon Stadium 1. We're still waiting for Stadium 2.
Really? Oh my god. Oh.
It's been a year since they showed that slate of N64 games, and we're missing like 4 of them. And like 2 of them are garbage sports games that I don't really care for. One of them is Mario Party 3, which, like, where is it? That's the one I really wanted. And the other one is, of course, Stadium 2. If they want that, that's an easy shadow drop. That's a really easy shadow drop, actually. Just be like, hey, Stadium 2 is coming to NSO, like, tonight or something.
Yeah, it's just so weird that, I remember, I think I told you in February, like, okay, a Pokemon coming to NSO, that's a given. That's like a 99% sure it's going to happen.
I feel like they're just being too protective. They're like, wait, no, we're going to give our games away as, like, part of a subscription service that's, like, $20 a year. I don't know about that. Yeah. Honestly, I could totally see them. If anything, I could see them being like, we'll do the GBA games, because then at least it's behind the expansion pass, or even trying to come up with their own sort of re-release format for the Pokemon games.
Dude, imagine there's like a Pokemon Online where it's like release Pokemon, but it's a different subscription service. It's like,
oh no, they'll tie home into it. Oh my god. Oh my god. Could you imagine? Home is now $70 a year. Home is $70 a year, and you get Home and the old games with online. So they totally would. They totally would. That is not what's going to be here, but they totally would do that.
After selling that stupid Pokeball accessory in like February,
oh my god,
$50, I'm like,
bro, I just started seeing the sleep thing at stores. Oh my god.
Oh no!
It looks so dumb. It's like $70 for like a disc. Like what is this? The Pokemon Go Plus or whatever it's called. I don't even.
Which is funny because I actually got back into Pokemon Go recently, and I'm never gonna buy that thing that they're selling. But like, I get they're back on the topic of mobile games. They're definitely we're gonna talk about Pokemon Go a bit. Pokemon Unite
Go's gonna get here. Sure. Unite definitely characters. Masters is like confirmed gonna be here because that's how we found out about this thing. There's like no way. Honestly, my expectations are still that the glitchy thing was for Masters. Like there's probably some big thing. I don't know, because I saw something in a reply to like a tweet I saw where it's like, oh, the purple stuff is for Masters. There's like some new items coming to Masters or whatever, but I'm not 100% sure.
It could, but that'd be pretty lame.
That would be lame, but that sounds realistically lame. Like it's like, oh yeah, because considering I didn't do a predictions for the last Pokemon Presents, but that one, oh my god, that one was so lame.
Oh, dude.
It was what was it? Sleep for 8 minutes, and then okay, fine. Here's live action teasers for the DLC. Oh, thanks, dude. So cool. It's $45, by the way. What do you mean it's 45?
Oh, it's so sad that like, all these things you just mentioned, like the Pokemon NSO thing, it could happen. Well, no, like a Pokemon all the separate online thing for $70, and then like it's it's just a good chance of that shit happening.
Yeah, but I don't think it'll be here. Do you have any? Was there anything else on that list that you wanted to mention?
Let me see. Netflix show I have live action. There's a lot of niche Pokemon stuff because I made this list before it was announced to be 35 minutes, so I was like, okay, borderline. I'm not really excited for it. I'm gonna watch it, not really having big expectations, and if I come out with it with nothing, I'm honestly pretty happy because like my biggest hope after Scarlet and Violet came out was like, hey, I really like these games, but I want them to take their time for the next one, so we don't have this like glitchy mess like
Oh yeah,
that
no,
it came out being,
100%.
right?
And now we're
Yeah.
just stuck doing DLC for like a year and a half because that's the formula. We got to do DLC instead of a third version or anything like that. Or
Yeah, it's crazy how like how predictable Pokemon's become. Like at one point they weren't because after X and Y we're like okay X Y and 2Y or whatever, and but no we got Sun and Moon, not Sun and Moon, Oras, and then they made Sun and Moon. I was like, oh wow, that's what a crazy what a crazy switch up for Pokemon. And now it's just like okay, Sword and Shield came out DLC for 3 years, and then Scarlet and Violet came out DLC, and then whatever. So I think at this point we know what Pokemon's going to... Okay, wait, no, scratch that. I forgot about Legends Arceus. That's a
Legends
big
and
game.
BDSP, yeah. I mean, okay,
Yeah.
to be fair, one thing I have liked about Pokemon on the Switch is that every game seemingly just looks different now. Like, there's still generations,
Yeah.
but it doesn't feel as, like, cut and dry. Like, every game runs on the same engine and looks the exact same in a generation. It's kind of cool that they've been able to switch things up.
Yeah. For better
I
or for
think
worse, because BDSP got really shit on. While Legends Arceus,
I'm the
everyone's
weird
done.
one who likes that game. I'm the weird person who thought that game was fine. I just never played any of the Sinnoh games as a kid, so...
Well, I mean, generally online. I'm indifferent about these games nowadays. I would say, but like the vast majority of online be like, yo, these games are they don't like them or whatever, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. Now there is one final thing.
Yeah. So what was your guess?
Okay. So there's been this is kind of half guess, half me going off of big rumors. But have you heard the recent Riddler coup rumor?
No, I haven't actually.
Okay. So apparently, supposedly, he's saying this is the big for those who don't know, big Pokemon leaker guy. He's been basically leaking stuff since Gen 7 now, since Sun and Moon. I think been around forever. 100% legit. I have no reason to doubt anything this guy says or tries to trick us with. But apparently next year we are getting Legends Unova, and it's going to be taking place in the future or something. That's apparently what this guy's saying now.
What?
Yeah.
What? Really?
I thought you had heard about this. Actually.
I usually tend to avoid what's it called, like rumors or leaks for Pokemon specifically because they just kind of ruin my experience. Like not ruined, but like before Scarlet and Violet came out, all
that stuff, like the Monolith leak every
Yeah.
Pokemon. But yeah, supposedly, I mean, I'm sure you would have heard about this at some point.
Yeah.
Considering like everybody's probably going to be start predicting it soon. Not here. I bet every discussion. I haven't watched any of them, but I'm sure all the discussions are talking about this. I don't think. Apparently, 2024. I don't think now is the time because obviously they're still marketing the DLC for Scarlet and Violet.
Yeah.
Right. But if they really want to, like, if they really are thinking, okay, people don't like Scarlet and Violet, but it's sold well, but like, let's get them hyped for the next thing. Because Legends, the idea of a new Legends coming next year and people already knowing about it, that says to me it's like a mid-year game. So that's like an easy game to bridge the gap between like Switch and Switch 2. And it's not for next gen because it wouldn't be a holiday game because Legends doesn't have to be holiday games. Those were like, the first one was January 2022. So I mean, this could be like in the summer for all they care.
I mean, because the first one came out, Legends Arceus came out in January, was it, or February?
Yeah, and they announced it like almost a year in advance. So clearly, I don't know. Clearly, with mainline Pokemon games, they like giving a lot of like announcement to release time.
Yeah.
And if that's their plan for next year, if they are not taking like an actual break at all and they're just going straight into like a Legends game mid next year, then I maybe now is I don't know, because obviously it's like sabotaging the marketing because I don't think anybody's really that excited for the Scarlet and Violet DLC yet, right?
Yeah, I can admit that is true. Yeah,
it's gonna be like once it comes, like once we know everything about it and it's out, that's when it's gonna really hit peak. But I don't know. It's a weird thing where I've been hearing about it and I'm like, it could be here. It probably won't be here. That could be what the glitchy tease was about because, oh, yeah, it's kind of like cyber and futuristic maybe. I mean, like, I don't know.
Again,
People,
I'll say this again. Like the idea of that sounds really dope for sure. But it's like I don't want that to come out next year because it's just again like you said bridge the gap between the Switch and Switch 2. I mean like if you want to market a Switch 2, I would just make the new, like Legends Unova like come out like release like launch date on like near the Switch 2
honestly,
or 2025.
yeah,
Like
honestly, that was what I was thinking. But like, I don't know. I keep hearing things like, "Oh, Pokemon doesn't like to release mainline games unless system is successful. That's why they end up waiting on like the Switch and such and such." And oh, they do new generation every 3 years now, so 2025 is guaranteed going to be Gen 10, basically. I don't know. It's really all up in the air. It doesn't matter. It's probably not going to be here. I have no reason to
yeah.
like 100 to expect it, but just throwing it out there so I can be right if it is.
I mean,
um,
I fair the fuck with that. Yeah, good shit, good shit.
yeah, no, I mean that's really about it though. 30. I didn't honestly. I genuinely didn't even know about the 35 minutes until like 10 minutes before hopping in this recording. Like I just checked Twitter again, and I was like, oh wait, 35 minutes. That's crazy.
That changes
So
a lot. That changes a
there,
lot.
there could be some stuff here. Although part of me is half just ready to go it. Well, first of all, I can't even watch it live, but half of me is just ready to hear from everybody that like, yup, they just spent 8 minutes talking about a Masters update.
I also really want to just stretch this shit out for no reason, but I don't know. It's interesting. I hope for the sake of the developers like Game Freak, I hope it is like live action, like the Netflix show or the live action show I was talking about before. But I don't know. The idea of Legends Unova honestly like a futuristic Unova makes it really enticing, but again, I don't want to get my hopes up too high.
Yeah, no, of
Yeah.
course. I don't know. That could be a whole separate discussion onto itself. I'm sure this topic will come up again come the usual February Pokemon Presents. They kind of like doing these every 6 months. I'm just now realizing that.
Yeah,
Like we kind of had
what's
February, August for the past like 3 years now, right?
I think you're right. Yeah, that's been and then usually they announce they announce the big announcements are always in the February at
Mm-hmm.
least, right? Because I mean like
And
oh it's Pokemon Day, guys. We gotta do something big for it, right? So
yeah, and then August, that's when they start updating stuff.
and
They'll
yeah,
be like, hey, here's more trailers, here's more Pokemon, here's like all that crud.
yeah, it'd just be really weird if they do something announce something super big in the August direct, which they just don't usually do. Yeah.
It's weird. It's a weird time because I'm kind of expecting some sort of decently sized Nintendo announcement in general. Not even like anything crazy big, but just something that's going to make me think, oh wow, that's kind of cool and surprising. But like, there's no reason to expect that because like Nintendo themselves have a crazy stacked holiday. They announced at the June Direct, and also even some games for next year that they talked about. And then Pokemon also basically played their entire hand there, or at least
Yeah,
I
that's
assume
true
they did.
actually.
So really, I don't. Yeah, if I'm being honest, like I'm thinking about why it's as long as it is. The only reasons I could possibly see is that there's a lot they have to talk about for the DLC and Detective Pikachu, or they're
Hmm.
going to talk about the live action show.
Yeah, I think that's the best way to think about what they could do. Unless we just see the craziest curveball of all time, but I think that it's weird that it's 35 minutes long, but I still don't give my hopes up for something super big. That's my stance on it. I would say.
That's fair. That's fair. Yeah. But yeah, I think that'll do it for this discussion.
Yeah.
Keep yourselves. Well, where can they all find you? Actually, I should probably be
Oh
nice to the guest. Where can they all
well.
find you at?
My YouTube channel name is The Glass Half Full, all spaces. And coincidentally enough, my next video is gonna be on Pokemon. So
Ooh.
be aware for that.
All right, I will definitely will be linked in the description for
All
those
right, thank
interested.
you.
But yeah, that's gonna do it for today's discussion on the corner. Keep yourselves cornered for more Pokemon, other gaming coverage, plenty more summer videos and other stuff. I got in store. We got a lot. I got a lot on the back burner. I got to edit now actually.
Nice.
But yeah, no. See you guys on the next one.
All
Bye.
right, later, guys.